Hi there. Yeah, this is the second in the series of videos on Delta feedback for the mock exam. Let's get straight into it. Paper 2 on the whole was your downfall. Task 1 was the analysis of the test, was generally answered quite well. Make sure you use headings and also make sure you identify the application for the learner. Remember that a test is not inherently good or bad, but it depends on its fit for purpose. And so make sure that you very clearly understand the principles of test writing. So that would include validity, reliability, practicality, backwash, and so on. And make sure that your headings are clear and that you also make a clear reference to the learner in the example. The second task, yeah, this was the big one here. This is one where you need to spend a little bit more time on. Overall, there was just simply not enough depth. A lot of you just described activities rather than purposes, not really getting into the kind of reverse engineering of materials design that is required here. So, for example, in A, you need to identify purposes of activities, so make sure this is like your stage aim. So think about when you're describing a purpose, don't describe the activity, but think about the purpose of it. So whether it's to activate schemata or provide further control practice, think about the purpose and not the kind of a description of the activity. In part B, you need to really think about sequencing and why some sequences, why some activities might follow others. So think about, you need to mention both activities. For example, activity B will provide further practice of form, which is previously introduced in activity A. So make sure you kind of identify which activity you're talking about and the previous or the subsequent activity and how they are linked. In part C, this one is actually quite easy when you know how. You just follow the rubric in the model answers. So think about the assumptions. So students learn better if, or students learn better when. So for example, when language is in context. And then you follow it up with an assumption. This is because, or the authors believe that. The context, for example, context will highlight meaning. Language needs to be provided in a rich and meaningful context. And then mention the activity itself. So students learn better if or when, and then write the assumption, and then the authors believe that. That's the rationale, and then make sure you identify which activity you're relating to. Activity 3, yeah, very good in terms of breadth of points. Make sure you get 30 points here. Describe the methodological principles, but also think about depth. So the depth can include things like your own experience, reference to methodology, reference to academics or theorists. So overall, paper 2 is where you really need to focus your efforts. Again, easy when you know how. You just need to really understand the approach, what the examiner is looking for. Make sure you use your model answers to really understand what is the task demands for these. So good luck, and I hope this video has been moderately useful. Thank you.